Alright guys, today we're going to review the Okuma Epixor XT. Okay, this is not to be confused with the original Epixor that everybody in the carp world knows and loves, and that proved to be extremely reliable and close to indestructible. This is the hair, I guess, of that reel, so it better be just as good. Now this reel premiered about a year ago for $69, and I didn't think it was worth 69 bucks, but Tackle Advisors put it in his feed last week, and it was in his Amazon links, and it was only, I think, 42 or 45 or whatever. It was 30 bucks off. So for that price, I thought it was worth, at least, feeding my curiosity a little bit. So I went in and bought it. Let me show you a couple of the statistics that I liked when I browsed, the features of the reel. And keep in mind, this is advertised as size 40. So first of all, 5.0 low gear ratio. You know how I love a low gear ratio, which translates to low retrieve rate, only 76 centimeters. My Daiwas here have like 1 meter per one crank. So I really like the low gear ratio, and I like the weight, only 300 grams for size 40. I mean, this thing weighs 400 grams, and only the $200 Caldea weighs that much. So for a $40 reel, to have good, low gear ratio, low weight, and one more feature, slow oscillation. This is big in the carp world. Okay, you want slow oscillation if you want a long cast. Recently with the advancement of braid and everybody go braid, they went from slow oscillation to very fast oscillation. So it, wraps the line pretty much like this, so the braid cannot dig in itself. Okay, you cannot use braid with slow oscillation reels. This reel is not braid friendly. Okay, so you have for 40 bucks low gear ratio, slow oscillation, low weight, and then the looks. Okay, enough teasing. Here is the reel. Yes, it's not all black, but come on, I don't care who you are. This is one good looking reel. Okay, now the first thing to check when you get this reel is, spin it very careful and see if it's not binding anywhere. Okay, when Tackle Advisors got his reel, just out of the box, it was binding at one spot, and he removed a shim from the left side plate and the binding disappeared. But unless you're Tackle Advisors, I recommend just put it in the box and send it back to Okuma for them to remove the shim and send you back a good one. Luckily, this one was okay, and I haven't seen many other people complain from this issue, so I think he really got a bad apple there, and I'm pretty happy with the smoothness of this reel. No binding anywhere at all. Now the first thing that needs to be said about this reel is that it's the wrong size. Look how small this thing is. Okay, this is sold as a size 40 reel. This is not a size 40 reel. As a matter of fact, I went and watched again Tackle Advisors video, and
it's a tiny little box. I thought the box would be bigger.
Yeah, he thought it was strange too. Guys, just to give you some base for comparison, look how much bigger the size 40 Daiwas are. Okay, no wonder they weigh more. Let me show you a Daiwa 2500 size. Okay, look at this. 2500 size Daiwa has the same diameter spool. I mean, it seems the same size to me as this 4000 size Okuma. This is Daiwa Theory 2500. Here you go. 2506, but that's 2500. This reel is 3000 size at most, okay? If you want a 4000 size reel, or whatever size you want, first thing to know is buy one size bigger. Now all of these specs here make sense, okay? How did Okuma reach this low weight for a 40 size reel with $40? You know, these light materials like Zion and CI4 from Daiwa and Shimano, they're very expensive. Okuma with $40 makes this 40 size reel with 300 grams, okay? Now it begins to make sense. And also the retrieve, the very low retrieve that I love, that's because the spool is so small. Now I personally have no use for size 30 reel, okay? This is too big for finesse fishing, crappie, bluegill, all of that stuff. And this is too small for bottom fishing. So this particular reel will be going back to Okuma, and I'm gonna probably order the size 50. I haven't decided yet, by the way. As I'm recording this review, I haven't decided, am I gonna get the bigger size or just return it? But yeah, now that I spent 5 minutes ranting about the size of the reel, actually the size of the reel is fine. The label is wrong. Technically, okay, there's nothing wrong with the reel. The label is wrong. Let's talk about the actual reel. You know, I already played with the reel for a couple of days, and I have to tell you, I couldn't find anything wrong with this reel, and I'm a very picky guy. This reel is, like Tackle Advisor said, a great value. In terms of smoothness, and everybody talks about smoothness, I mean, it feels really, really smooth. But you know, one of my friends bought an eBay reel for $12. I swear it felt almost perfectly smooth as well. I feel we have reached, you know, a stage of technology where the manufacturers can cut gears with pretty good precision, and all reels to me feel almost identically smooth. So this is one really smooth reel. One other thing that I'm big on, and I've commented in my reviews, is the resistance. The resistance when you turn the handle. Does the reel have a lot of resistance? To me, this is kind of a feature of the elite equipment, okay? Only expensive Daiwa and Shimano can make this light feel. And this reel is pretty light, okay? The bail flip. And this thing is, if I give it to my son or somebody with OCD, this thing is just joy to keep flipping, okay? The handle is not a screw-in. It's one of those hex handles that go on the other side and you turn the knob, but that's fine. You know, Tackle Advisors, his reel didn't have any free play, but you know, my reel, you can almost hear it. Yeah, you can hear it. My reel definitely has some free play here. Nothing you know, out of the ordinary here. The handle knob, thick, very thick EVA. I am no fan of this handle knob. I'm really, you know, kind of used to these really thin Shimano handle knobs. Daiwas are very similar. Now here is one feature of this reel with which I absolutely fell in love. You cannot see it, you have to hear it. Listen to this. Do you hear this vibrating sound of drag? You know, a little bit after the click, it still keeps vibrating like a guitar string. You know, there is nothing better for me than beautiful sounding drag. Why don't manufacturers pay more attention to the sound of drag is beyond me. This one might be the best sounding drag that I have on any reel at any price, you know, bar none. Shimano is definitely in this respect the worst of all brands on the market. They changed their drag recently. Listen to this. It's just plastic running over some teeth. No vibration, not even metal sound, absolutely no guitar string. Let me show you why this reel has such a nice drag sound. I have discovered the secret to beautiful drag sound, and I'm sure the manufacturers are aware of it. But if you remember the reel that I pulled out of the lake and I restored, I told you it has really nice mechanism about the drag and it has very nice drag sound. This reel has the same mechanism. Look at this, okay? So this thing is dragging on the teeth and it's not attached to anything. It's free playing and the spring is holding it. Oops, stop. So after it hits a tooth and it makes the sound, it keeps vibrating inside for a little bit. And the spring, because it's elastic, it creates this vibration and creates this amazing sound. How expensive is this? I don't know. Look at this nice seal here. Sealed drag stack. Not bad, not bad. Oh, by the way, the drag washers are felt, if you're wondering. Not carbon. But it doesn't make a big difference, to be honest, for us freshwater guys. Come on, get real. So, we have a beautiful reel, low gear ratio, slow oscillation, which will result, I know, in a beautiful line lay, beautiful, you know, bail flip, amazing drag. Why am I on the edge about buying and keeping this reel? Okay, the reason is, as smooth as this reel feels, you know, little resistance and all of that, the feel of the reel, in my opinion, is still below that of Daiwa and Shimano. When I told Tackle Advisors that I bought this reel from his link, he said he was curious about my opinion, and I want to punt the ball back to him if he agrees with my assessment. I agree with his assessment. That's a great reel for 45 bucks, smooth, light, everything he said. But even with all of that, I cannot compare the feel of this reel. I cannot even compare. I can't say it's a little bit worse than this Shimano Sahara here. Okay, these two reels to me feel very, very different. Okay, the Shimano Sahara or this Daiwa Eliminator here. You know, when you spin the handle, it feels like quite different. It is still smooth. I don't know how to describe it, man. My English is not that good. It's like everything inside runs on these metal rails where nothing has any kind of free play. Everything goes exactly where it's supposed to be. No free play, like a Swiss watch or I don't know, some military equipment with you know, zero, you know, tolerance for free play of any kind. In the last few years, the feel of Daiwa and Shimano, granted these are more expensive reels, well, the MSRP is the same. Sahara and this Okuma, the MSRP is the same. But in recent years, in my opinion, there is a little bit of a gap between Daiwa and Shimano feel, okay, and everybody else. So, my final word. At the current promotional price of 45 bucks, I can sincerely recommend this reel. A lot of good features and it's well put together. It feels good. I don't think anybody will regret, you know, buying this reel, given that they order one size bigger, okay? But if your budget is, you know, 50 or 60 or I don't know. If your budget is, if you can go to the next step, let's say $70, okay, then unfortunately I no longer recommend this reel. If you're looking for a small size reel like 2000 or 2500, 3000, I recommend the Daiwa LT reels. You know, there is no problems with the flex there, and they will, I promise you, feel better than this reel. If you need size 4000 or higher, the Shimano Sahara size 4000 and over, you know, gets my recommendation over anything else. I think that's all I have. Sorry for going on all these tangents. Sorry for another long video. If you did find this video useful, don't be lazy. Hit the like button, consider subscribing, comment, all of that good stuff. As always, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna put up another review pretty soon.